Well, this is an important one where I find that, and this is normal, getting stuck is very normal. So, what can you do today to persevere, to keep going? Well, it is a choice. It's definitely a choice. So the choice is that you're going to make a decision to keep going in the right direction, to do things that educate you. And I don't mean going to school. That's not necessary. However, I have some people on here who are in the middle of school. Keep going, finish. But understand that even though you finish school, you still have this practical side that you need to get a hold of for this career. And I would encourage you to get in the next session of my class, Paralegal Inner Circle class. It is closed now. Registration is shut down for several months. But if you're graduating in May, I would look at getting into my class. I'm not sure when I'm opening it up again, but stay tuned. Get on the wait list so that you get an email, okay? And stay tuned to this channel. And if you feel like being on Facebook with us, it's Paralegal Coffee Talk. And my website is easy to get to. Just put in paralegalcoffeetalk.com. That's the easiest way to get there. And you can see there's more info about the class, but the wait list is the only thing open right now. But there's a lot of good blog posts on there as well. And if you'll see a lot of these videos on there, but if you scroll way down or hit some of the tags on the right, you'll see a lot for the paralegal career. All right, so if you are consistent in you've set some goals for yourself, I have to get better at this, I have to learn this, then start every day doing that. I have to learn some new software myself that I am looking at doing today. Seriously. So I will dive into it today and I will teach myself. And how will I teach myself? I have the software downloaded, and then I will go to YouTube and see if there are YouTube videos about it. So if you are deficient in Microsoft Word, then use YouTube and Google as your teachers for that. Okay? Perseverance. You don't give up. Carry the fear with you. Do it afraid. I do most things afraid. And it isn't where, you might think, well, she's one confident little girl. No, I'm not. And most people are not. It's where we're pushing through it because it is difficult, I know. So let's talk. It's called making a decision to keep going. That's all it is. It's a simple choice. And then taking another step to keep going. When a year and a half ago, I broke my shoulder, I broke the humerus, and I broke a bone on the left side of my left foot because I fell while walking my dog, and I have no idea how I broke my foot, but I did. And it was a bone that a lot of people break when they fall. It's pretty typical, and it takes a while for it to heal because you're on your foot. And I wore a boot for 6 to 8 weeks and still took a long time to heal. This healed up fast, this humerus break. And it was a clean break. It was just from bracing myself as I fell. But I had to take one step at a time. I was in a lot of pain the first couple days, and then my bones were healing, and just took Tylenol, and still I walked around with the boot on, did not give up. Oh, hey, Matthew. You should expect a lot of chaos and confusion. You should. For the first 2 months, Matthew, that's why I want you to hang on. Picture being on a subway and it's going like this, and you're hanging on. You just hang on and you learn all you can. And first day is usually they're introducing you and that kind of stuff. And become best friends with the computer and what's on it. Look around, be a detective. Okay. And then when my course comes around again, you might want to take that. Even even if you've been on the job for a while, you might want to take it. Okay. There's some nuggets in there. So best wishes though on your new job. Um, get with people who have been in the field for a long time. Okay. I had mentors in my first job. Most law firms don't have that. It was just, I was placed there and that's where I should be. And I had an attorney mentor and a paralegal mentor. And no, they did not like each other. But one was pushing me to jump into trial work, which was the attorney, and the paralegal didn't want that to happen, but he overrode her decision making. And thank goodness he did, because it set me up in the catbird seat for my career because I was working trials right away. Did I know what I was doing? Of course not, because I've never seen this stuff before. But that's how you learn. It's trial by fire. So, moving forward is the name of the game, and pushing yourself. And if you don't, nobody's really going to get behind you and push you. I mean, I don't want that personally. But if I need that, then do I really want to go forward in this? Is this for me? Why don't I have a passion about it then if somebody's got to push me? You shouldn't be pushed into this. You should want to do it. If you don't, then go find your passion. Um, how to get unstuck. I'm a major procrastinator. How I get unstuck is sometimes I won't call people. They haven't called me, and then I can get in this ring around the rosy, merry-go-round type of thing of I miss them. This is like family members that live far away. So I end up just picking up my cell phone and calling them, and then we have a great time. And it's almost like a burden's lifted off because it's something that you're thinking about too much and it's circling. So just go do it. Get unstuck. And that's just, even with family members, get unstuck. Say what you need to say honestly, that is like constantly burrowing in you. Get unstuck, but say it nicely, kindly. Ask for help from somebody who's a mover and a shaker, but you've also got to be willing to dive in and learn a lot on your own. Google's your best friend. Taking my course gives you an edge. So you have to wait now till it opens up again. But I would dive in. I don't care how far along you are in school or not in school or in your first job. Take that course. Stop thinking about the problems and start thinking about solutions. So that's what we do as paralegals. We're problem solvers. We're not there to make additional problems. We're there to solve problems. We're not there to use the attorney as our proofreader. We are the proofreaders. You will build your reputation on how well you problem solve and proofread your work. They're not there to proofread your mistakes. You're there to proofread those documents as if your life depended on it and turn out good product. So, yeah, I'm a stickler for that. And yes, I have made mistakes that way, but then it's not something I'm proud of. And I've had people say to me, they should read it and pick out the mistakes. No, sorry. I'm not talking about when an attorney makes revision after revision after revision. I'm talking about spelling and grammar mistakes that you're not picking up on, and you're making more mistakes when you type. That's not acceptable. So your work product has to be primo. Staying stuck is your choice, definitely. It's my choice. I've got software to learn. I cannot learn it and cause some problems, or I can learn it and make people happy. And that's what I need to do today. So I've got to go learn some new software. And I've had to do that in the past at a law firm, and I had to get on the phone and actually question an attorney about the software. as if he was on the witness stand. And it worked out great, actually. But it turned out he was lying about his expertise with this particular software. And why is that important in a law firm? Because he was holding that up as if he was an expert and holding it up so that he could get a client and take a client away from my attorney. So that all worked out great for us that day. So, you know, jump in with both feet and go after it. If you let it become this boulder in front of you, well, it'll stay like that. So it's time to knock it down, okay? And I hope this was helpful. It's just how I conquer things and how most people do. Most athletes have to just go face it, and they do it afraid. They don't ever wait to reach this nirvana state or a state of perfection that does not exist. It is doing it afraid and believing more in yourself and your abilities and what you're already bringing to the table. You're bringing a lot to the table, but if you diminish it in your own mind, then you will sink down. But stand up, be proud of what you already know, write down the things that you're bringing to the table before you ever go into a law firm, and then start keeping track of what you're learning. Don't be lazy about that. Keep track of what you're learning because it will come in handy later on. Mark my words. All right. So have a great day. Best wishes in your new job. I'm rooting for you, and go for it. Remember what I said about Google, best friend, and take my course. If you're feeling like you need more help later on, take the course. But if you feel like you're cooking along just fine, don't. But I highly recommend it. I've got a good group of people in there now, many people, and they are going to make the jump. Some have no experience, and there are some that have been out of the field for years and are going through a refresher time. So that's it for today, guys. Post your questions, comments below, and say hello. I love hearing from you, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Oh, let's see. Joe, I go look for my video about that. Put in the search area of my channel. Oh gosh, what did I name it? Second language? Put in English in the little search area. It has a magnifying glass. Honestly, I won't rehash the whole video, but if your English has to be strong because all the documents in the US are written in English. So your English has to be strong. But if your first language is Spanish, for instance, and you're in a border state in the US, it doesn't have to be just a border state, but I don't know that you can exist in Miami, for instance, as a paralegal without being bilingual or even trilingual. So where I am in Florida, it's a huge benefit to know 2 languages, but English has to be very strong because we're filing documents in English. And Spanish is fantastic because in our border states, for obvious reasons, and we have huge Hispanic populations. But what's interesting in my area is just north of me, there's a huge Russian population, and maybe 30 minutes north of me, 35 minutes. It's always beneficial to have on the West Coast, especially, let's see, Washington and Portland area. You will see in Washington State, there'll be on the court sites, they'll even have a lot of, I'm not sure if it's Mandarin or Cantonese, but there'll be Chinese language on the court site. So obviously being bilingual in English and Mandarin or Cantonese is very important up there, and in California as well, in some law firms. So yes, English strong, even if it's not your first language. And if you're bilingual, especially in Spanish, depending on what state you're in, very important. It can be a way to get very much higher paying jobs too. You know, not if they're like in Miami, there are a lot of people who speak Spanish, so it's not that you can use that to get the highest pay. But sometimes when you're in an area like I am, and somebody comes in and they're bilingual in Spanish and English, whether English is first language or not, as long as it is really strong, grammar and spelling and all that has to be strong for the reasons I mentioned. So it's really in this area you could command a higher salary, and I think like maybe in Tallahassee in Florida as well, because you won't have as many Spanish speaking people as you do in Miami. It's what it, you know, how many people there are that offer that, and it's really a cool thing. But be sure that you check that video out. I think it's like, I named it something like English as a second language, something like that. So I would watch that video, because I have people on my Facebook page where that's the case, and I know that video has been helpful. The video about being an introvert was helpful for people who are more shy and wondering if they have a place in this world, in this career. So, all right, guys, that's it for today. Thank you so much for your questions. I appreciate it. And I will talk to you in tomorrow's video. Bye.